Hello and welcome to In the QC, a podcast brought to you by the Quad Cities Chamber. If you aren't from here, I know what you're thinking. QC? That's where? The QC is the heart of the Midwest, a proud, forward-thinking family of communities connected by one of the world's most renowned rivers, the Mississippi. The region attracts returners and explorers, investors, and entrepreneurs because it offers the well-being and comforts of the accessible, the homegrown, and the local, combined with an inventive imagination that embraces arts, businesses, and global aspirations. Thanks for returning for our second episode of In the QC. The Chamber works in 3 areas: business and economic growth, placemaking, and talent attraction and development. Today, we will be sitting down with the talent attraction and development team from the Quad Cities Chamber. I have 2 guests with me today. Would you guys mind introducing yourselves?
I am Emily Codling. I am the talent manager for Career Connections.
Good afternoon. My name is Jared Kleinkoff, and I'm the Talent Attraction and Inclusion Manager for the Chamber.
Awesome. Welcome to In the QC. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
You've both recently moved to the QC. Could you both tell us why you moved and what you love about the Quad Cities?
So I'm actually moving back. I'm what you call a boomeranger. So I'm from Eastern Iowa. And after I graduated high school, of course, I kind of went my own way. I joined the military, did 6 years in the military. Then after that, I used my GI Bill benefits and I went to school. And then after about 15 years, I decided to make my way back to Iowa. And the QC area is a great place to live. And it offers cheap and affordable housing. You know, it's a lot more room than New York City had.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I moved back here actually because I got stuck during the pandemic in a very small apartment. And so with nothing open, I was like, okay, need to make a change, come back to Iowa, somewhere, you know, people are more personable, a little bit more relaxed, and more things to, you know, there was actually more things to do during the pandemic here than there was up in New York City.
Awesome.
So,
well, welcome back to Iowa, Jared. We're happy to have you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Emily, how about you?
Yeah, my story is actually a little similar to Jared's. I also grew up in the Quad Cities, went to Davenport West, I graduated from Western Illinois, and I spent the last 12 years in Seattle, Washington. My husband and I decided to move back to the Quad Cities last year. Similar to Jared's, the pandemic really made us realize how far away we were. You know, our parents are getting older. If something were to happen, we can no longer just like hop on a plane and come home. It was, you know, a good heavy 3-day drive to get back here. And so once kind of things started lifting, we revisited the Quad Cities in May of last year, after having not been home for a couple of years since then, and just really love seeing all the development going on in downtown Davenport and everything that the Quad Cities was doing to try and make this like a fun, hip place to be. And then like Jared was saying as well, we realized purchasing a home and starting a family were much more attainable and feasible here in the Quad Cities than they were in Seattle. So that's something that even with our careers and our success that we had out there, it just wasn't something that was going to be possible for us. So after that visit in May, we went back home, thought about it, and started planning our trip back here and arrived here a few months later.
Wow, I love that. You know, my husband is a boomeranger as well. He lived in San Diego for 10 years, but he came back because his grandparents who raised him were getting older, and he wanted to be close to the family. Also, talking about buying a house in the Quad Cities compared to out in California, it's a big difference. So it's really great that we kind of all have connections to, we are either a boomeranger or we have connections to boomerangers in the Quad Cities. Awesome. Well, to get us started, why is the Chamber involved in talent attraction and development work? Please provide a brief overview. Emily, why don't we start with you?
Sure, yeah. So the talent department is a new addition to the Chamber. We just started this work last year. So that's why Jared and I are both newbies to this. And it all started because when the Chamber goes out and talks to businesses, we just kept hearing over and over again that the biggest issues our employers are facing is that lack of skilled and talented employees.
Oh, absolutely.
To fill, just their open positions that they have. So our focus is really on the growth and development of a skilled and talented workforce for our region. We know that with that, it takes both talent attraction, which is bringing in new people to our region, and also talent development, which is growing and developing our existing workforce. Jared and I are kind of working together to create that pipeline of talent for our region's employers. So Jared, do you want to talk a little bit about the talent attraction?
Absolutely. So talent attraction and inclusion aims to engage many different people. So like she said, engagement with people already in the QC area that might be able to skill up and get better jobs and and buy more houses and stay in the area. We really want to retain the talent we do have. And then inclusion is also reaching out to people that might not have been included at the table for a lot of city and area discussions on where we go from here. So we really want to hear everybody's voice and let everybody have a seat at the table as we move forward. And then talent attraction, yeah, it's definitely important after we develop everybody in the Quad Cities to also bring new people in. So we definitely need population growth. The Chamber's goal is to have 500,000 people here by 2030. So it's going to take a lot of going out to different markets and bringing new talent in.
Yeah, so and with talent development, what I'm really focusing on is working with the schools and other nonprofits in the space to align businesses and education strategies for the career exploration for our K through 12 students. Our goal is that every student has some sort of a post-secondary plan after they graduate from high school. So if they are college bound or get them into a work-based learning program or something like that, we want all students to be on a path to be career ready after high school.
That's amazing. You know, before I started at the chamber, I've been at the chamber for a year, and I'm on the comm side, the communications team. But before joining the chamber, there was so much about my community that I didn't really understand. And I always thought that I was so involved, but these workforce issues, the talent attraction issues, that was something that wasn't on my radar. But the amount that I've gotten to learn just being alongside you guys has really been amazing. And I do realize now that talent attraction, workforce issues, that is such an important core to growing our region. So I'm really impressed with the work that you guys do. And Emily, tell us a little bit more about that talent pipeline that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I know it's very important. We have graphs for this.
I mean,
it is
if you're a business and you've had to sit down with me, you've seen this beautiful graphic. There was a study that was done in 2020 where we identified 5 key strategies to building a successful talent pipeline for our region. Those kind of quickly are preschool for all, career connections, high school graduation rates, talent attraction, and upskilling and reskilling. So once we kind of found those, we ended up partnering with the United Way, and we kind of aligned our efforts to tackle these issues together for the development of that pipeline. So of those 5 key strategies, the Chamber is focusing on career connections, which is my role, and then talent attraction, which is what Jared's working on. Jared, do you want to talk about some of the talent attraction programs?
Sure. So one big one we're working on right now is Home Base Iowa. So Home Base Iowa is trying to gain the talent from veterans returning from military service. So if a veteran goes on to Home Base Iowa, their website, they can see a whole bunch of different jobs that are opened up that employers are looking for with the skills that they have. And then it also helps employers connect with veterans for the skills they're looking for. And so a part of that is the Quad Cities, specifically Davenport and Scott County, want veterans to come to this area of the Quad Cities. So if a veteran moves to the area in Davenport and buys a house, they can get up to $1,500 towards their home.
That's
and then
amazing.
If they move into Scott County, they get another $1,500.
Wow.
So it's just a little incentive to hopefully bring some of this skilled talent back to the area. And yeah, veterans do everything in the military. So, they do law enforcement, they do tech, they do manufacturing. So they can come in and contribute in just about any way possible. So yeah, that's one of the avenues we're trying to take to bring talent back to the Quad Cities.
That's amazing. I love the Home Base Iowa program. When I first started at the Chamber, the Home Base Iowa program was kind of first starting. And so I had the opportunity to interview some veterans, and how highly they speak of this program. It just shows that the work that the Chamber's doing, the work that your department is doing really matters. And you're right, Jared. I don't know if we can find a more skilled workforce than our veterans, right? They can do just about anything, and to be able to bring them to the Iowa workforce, that's really special. I think that program is absolutely amazing. It's great that the Chamber has a part in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then with career connections part of the pipeline, one of the areas that's a really big focus for us is job shadows, internships, and apprenticeships. As the Chamber, we want to make our region's businesses aware of these programs, and this is a pipeline of easily accessible and readily available employees for them. So to know that the students at our local schools are eager to learn, invested in the region, and they're looking for opportunities here close to home.
Absolutely. I remember when I was in high school, the job fairs really were such a great opportunity to kind of inspire and motivate my classmates and myself into career paths that we maybe didn't know were on the table for us, right? I do remember going to job fairs in high school and just having a really great time connecting with local businesses and seeing the different opportunities that were out there for the youth of the Quad Cities. That's great. Let's do a deeper dive into those apprenticeships. How is the Chamber helping employers, Emily? Why are apprenticeships good for business?
Yeah, so the Registered High School Apprenticeship Program has been in place for a few years now. It really was started by John Deere. They were kind of the developers of it, and their focus was, hey, we need welders. There's this huge pipeline of talent that we can get from high school students. So they really focused on the welding program. And then as it began to expand and kind of expanded outside of the manufacturing welding world, they kind of asked the Chamber to step in and serve as more of a regional administrative role for the program and to help the schools really reach more business partners. Because that's kind of one of the things,
Right.
is the gap that they need with that. So programs like this are that great opportunity for our region's businesses to find that next generation of dedicated employee. And what the Chamber's really doing is just trying to help get the word out there of what is going on with these programs and see how the businesses can get connected with the schools.
I love that. It sounds like the Chamber, along with other organizations, are really putting out a lot of valuable resources for the next generation of the Quad Cities workforce. So that is great. Emily, internships are important for businesses too. I've heard you say that lots. So let's dive into that. Tell us more about what the Chamber's doing in the internship area.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is internships are a really great option for businesses that want to also grow and develop their workforce, but maybe don't have the time or resources to devote to a full-on apprenticeship program, or they don't have an apprenticeable opportunity within their business. There's a little bit more flexibility with internships as far as the length and the requirements needed, but are still that great opportunity for our region's students to learn more about the businesses and job opportunities that are in the area. And it's a great way for our businesses to get the exposure that they need to those students as well.
Absolutely.
The Chamber is really focusing on bringing just that awareness to these career connection opportunities for our businesses and getting them introduced to the schools.
That's awesome. Did either of you guys do internships like in college or anything?
I did a few.
Did you?
Some work studies and internships.
I
yes.
did too.
Absolutely.
I was an intern at the Caddish Gallery, so I got to work at the St. Ambrose Go Bees, got to work at the St. Ambrose Art Gallery, and it was really awesome getting to, even though I didn't take my degrees in the route of like museum studies, I got to learn the organizational skills that are required for a gallery. And I feel like I do apply the things that I learned in that internship at the Chamber every single day. So it's really great.
It's definitely talent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is the students here, they might not even know that these opportunities are available. And that's a really great way for these businesses to get themselves in front of these students before they do move away. Because that was mine was I got a summer internship in Seattle that turned into me living there for 12 years. So, if you can get these students here and teach them that, there are these great opportunities here in this region before that happens, it's a really great thing for our community.
Absolutely. The Chamber hosts an incredible program for interns over the summer. Jared, could you tell us a little bit more about Intern QC? I know it's about to start, so I'm very excited to hear more about it.
Absolutely. Intern QC is set up with the specific goal of retaining talented interns after graduation in the Quad Cities and in the local area. So one of the issues is a lot of people come to the area, and interns included, and they stay in their little university bubble. They don't get out, they don't experience the Quad Cities, the Mississippi River, the festivals, the different events here, and then they do their time and they leave. So what we aim to do is create a program where they can have leadership development, and we partner with the MRA on that, but we also want them to enjoy the Quad Cities. So we host 4 events over the summer. We go to the baseball stadium, which is right on the Mississippi River. It's beautiful. We get them acclimated to that atmosphere. We also have a kickoff, in a big sports complex where they can, let loose and do a little bowling. And then, we have a little bit of leadership development they do as well. And they engage with each other. So a John Deere employee can engage with an employee from, any different.
Building your network. Jan, I love that.
Yes. So yeah, they come here and we want them to enjoy their time. So they stay here, they have a family, they start a career. And so that's part of that talent, attracting them here, but then also keeping them here. So yeah, it's a great program.
That's awesome. And I just have to say for our viewers, when I started at the Chamber last summer, man, did I get to see firsthand how fun these events are. And also, I think it's great. We had a intern for our events and comms team, Jerry Ann, and she actually came back to the Quad Cities.
There we
So
go.
it's great. And it shows just how powerful these connections that these students are making in our region are. If
Absolutely.
they're, making those connections, having a great time, and wanting to come back to continue their careers. I think that is a testament to the program. Very excited to see how it goes this summer.
Hope to keep more here after the summer too.
Absolutely. Well,
Absolutely.
I know we will. I
Yes.
know we will. We got this, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, as you mentioned, Intern QC is a great way to encourage college students who graduate in the Quad Cities to stay in the Quad Cities. Could you tell us why that's so important?
Absolutely. So it's so important because they have already learned a lot of specialized skills which are needed in the Quad City region. So we don't want them going elsewhere with these skills.
Right.
We want interns to feel a sense of community and feel like this is a great place to start a career and raise a family. Our goal is to grow the population and the GDP, and these interns are a large part of it. So the more we can retain and have stay here, the greater the impact, not only in 1 year or 5 years, but 30 years down the road. Their kids grow up, hopefully they get an internship here as well, and they stay here.
That's awesome. When I think we talk about workforce and talent issues in a broader sense, I think people don't really understand all of the strategy and work that goes into this work. And that's something that I've gotten to see on a ground level. And it really is just so inspiring to see people putting so much time, thought, effort, and thoughtfulness into how we are going to grow the GDP, how we are going to retain that workforce and drive talent back to the Quad Cities region. I love that. The Chamber is launching a variety of minority business councils. What are those?
Yeah, so the Chamber is focused on reaching out to not just Chamber members, but also the greater community at large. So as I said before when we were talking, a lot of times people are left to the side and they don't have a seat at the table in the decision-making process.
Yeah.
And then as a program or an initiative gets started, some people get left to the side because they weren't a part of the
Right.
planning process. So when everybody's included in discussions about the direction of the community, it makes it easier for us to achieve our goals because everybody's moving towards the same goal instead of some people left to the side that have their own goals. So we want to move to the same goal together, build a community, foster a sense of inclusion where everybody feels like they're in the same group, not separate groups
Right.
around here. So the minority business councils offer great capacity for networking, resource gathering, and problem solving. It allows the Chamber to be able to listen to the issues going on throughout our community and then assist in amplifying their voices. So if they have something they're very passionate about, we want to go take that to the broader community and help them with whatever their passions or their goals are.
That is so important. I love that phrase, everyone has a seat at the table.
Absolutely.
I think that is such important work that the Chamber and your team is doing because at the end of the day, we are all Quad citizens, and this is our region. And, we want to see everyone having the opportunity to have a seat at that table. That is such important work. Jared, could you tell us a little bit more about the business councils that we have started right now?
Mm-hmm. So right now we've started the Black Business Council and the Women's Business Council. And in both of these meetings is pretty incredible. I mean, the level of engagement's very exciting. They have different ideas of what they want to do to help impact the Quad City at large. And then we're going to start working on the Hispanic Business Council. And then down the road, we're going to reach out and start the LGBTQ Business Council and more of an immigration business council, how we're going to focus on immigration. Once we get people within the Quad Cities skilled up and having good careers, we then need to bring in other people to supplement our population growth.
I love that. That makes me very proud to be a part of the Chamber team.
Oh, that's great.
So, Jared, the Chamber has a program in progress called Leadership QC. What is it and how is that going?
Yes, Leadership QC is a program for experienced community leaders and innovative thinkers who want to enhance their individual leadership skills. So a lot of them are C-suite executives. They work in nonprofits. They work in big corporations. They work, within our local and state governments. And so it's bringing them together to network and learn about the community at large, not just, where they work, but about the Quad Cities. And so they also have a social impact project where they learn about some needs that are within the community, so that as they become decision makers, they have their mindset on different things they can help to impact in the future.
That is so incredible. I love that Leadership QC offers an opportunity for leaders around the Quad Cities to discuss the issues that are going on within their individual businesses or areas of business. I think that's so important because it is kind of like a trickle down effect, right? The things that they are going to be able to learn talking with other leaders in the Quad Cities really is going to impact their daily work in their career paths with their employees and things like that. I think that is so awesome. And I got to do headshots for Leadership QC. It was so much fun.
Excellent.
We had a great time, and really I could just tell walking in that everyone was so engaged. They were so excited to be there. Everyone was shaking hands, and it really did feel like a space that was innovative and filled with a lot of inspirational energy. It was really cool to get to see that firsthand.
Yeah, it's a great program.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Emily and Jared, how can listeners get signed up for these amazing programs?
Yes, you can always go to the Quad Cities Chamber of Commerce website to sign up for these great programs. We have a lot of them. Our contact information is on the chamber website if you want to reach out to me directly, if you have any specific thing you're interested in. And then we also have a Quad City Chamber newsletter, so you can keep up to date and informed with what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah, and for any of the school programs, anyone can reach out to me. I'm happy to give you more information on them, just kind of get you familiarized with them. And then I can always connect you with the school representative that can answer any of the questions that maybe I'm not able to answer.
Being on the communications team, I get to see firsthand how much information is on our website. It truly is like a guide to all of the amazing work that the chamber is doing. So whether you are an investor, a member, or just a Quad City region community member, you can find all of this amazing information right at your fingertips. I love guiding people to our website because all of our programs are on there, our events, we have a blog, you can sign up for our newsletter. It really is such a great resource for our region. And for any of our viewers who would like to check out our amazing website, you can find it at quadcitieschamber.com. All right, Jared and Emily, final question. What can employers or individuals do to help share the love of why living and working in the QC is so great?
Yeah, I can start. I think we can all just work to be advocates for the region. When we're out talking to people, just make sure that, you're talking it up, making sure everyone knows all the cool stuff going on, and really talking to people about why you live and work here.
That's true. Yeah, we want you to get out in the community and experience everything going on. So go to these festivals, go to these events, and utilize your social media. So share it with people outside the Quad Cities. So if they've never heard about the Quad Cities, they can ask about it. Then all of a sudden they look into it, they see everything going on, and hopefully that helps us in attracting talent here.
I love that. I was born and raised here in the Quad Cities. I feel like I'm going to mention that every single episode, but it really is such an important part to who I am. And I just adore this community. I adore this region. And to have some tiny little part of it working at the chamber, working alongside amazing teams like you guys, it really is quite the honor. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Before we end this episode, is there anything else you guys would like to add? Any shout outs of up and coming projects you'd like to let our viewers know about?
Please go online to our website and check everything out.
That amazing website that's jam-packed with lots of information.
Yeah, I'd say for the businesses, the Intern QC program, if you do have interns coming in, that'll probably be a really great thing for them to get involved in. The Leadership QC program that Jared mentioned, it is in progress now, but it is a yearly program that we're going to be doing. We'll be looking this fall for our next cohort of leaders.
Absolutely.
So keep an eye on the website for that application when that comes out. And if you want any more information on apprenticeships or getting involved with anything involving the high schools, I'd be happy to chat with you about that, about how your business can get more involved in work-based learning.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And really quickly, I would just like to once again thank our investors, thank our members, thank our Quad City region that allows the chamber to do the amazing work that we do. We wouldn't be here without you guys, and together we will create an even awesomer Quad City region, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us for episode 2 of In the QC. It was great having you, and it was great sitting down to talk with Emily and Jared from the Quad Cities Chamber. We would like to take a moment to shout out the Quad City Times for hosting us in their new and cutting-edge podcast studio. Stay tuned for more podcasts coming out of this amazing space. Thank you again for joining us. We are so excited to have this new podcast in the QC. We hope you join us again. Have a good one.